Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And this is a very special episode once again, isn't it, Jack?
It is indeed, because we've been joined by the guys from the Zack Attack podcast. Did I get that right?
You did. Yeah.
Yes. Who've had Liam guest on their show.
Yeah.
Joey and Joe.
What's up? How's it going?
Hi, guys.
Joe too.
And I'm Joey.
And yeah, so I've been on their show to talk about Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
Yeah, we had Liam on to talk about a movie that didn't have Zac Efron in it, so that was...
Yeah, but I mean...
It was a weird decision.
My favourite thing is just how we've all met, really.
Have you not told the story here yet?
Let's remind people, because I'm pretty sure we did go over it, because Jack was fascinated by one aspect of it. But I feel like if anyone missed that episode, let's remind them of how you guys found me.
So, on our show, Zack Attack, the Zac Efron podcast, we have now seen, as of this recording, we've now seen every movie that Zac Efron's done. We also did a clip show, so we've seen every TV appearance too. So we've really, exhausted, we've tapped the well.
We watched fucking, 3 seasons of Summerland or 2 seasons of Summerland?
26 hours, yes.
Yeah.
And so as we were going through some of Zach's earlier... what do you call him? You call him Zephron, right? You call him Zephron? Is that what you're...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now we're on a British podcast. We'll call him Zephron. We'll make you happy.
Thanks.
When we were going through Zephron's earlier work, we got to this movie called Miracle Run. No. The Derby Stallion, which they're basically the same movie.
The Derby Stallion.
And the Derby Stallion... okay. As the show has gone on, we've added more and more games, and eventually we want to make the podcast 100% games and not even talk about the movie and just do mailbag and do different games or whatever. And so one of the games we do is we go on Letterboxd, and we see how many people have watched the movie, we look for reviews of it, we just sort of mess around on there.
I guess how many people have seen it, right? I guess how many people rated it, and how many people have it in their top 10 or top 4, whatever.
And so we got to the Derby Stallion, and it was only seen by 130 people, and this is a website where we always use for reference sake, Mad Max Fury Road has been logged by 150,000 people. So for just 130 to see a single movie that we just spent an hour talking about, that's not very many people. And more importantly than that, there was only one single review of the Derby Stallion, and that was by Mr. Liam Underwood.
Yeah. Where, I didn't hate the movie, but I definitely had issues with its horses that it featured in it.
Yeah,
that was right. You had the horse story. I remember now.
Yeah, I don't like horses.
So we read the review live on air, and Joe was trying to decipher if Liam was straight or gay, if this horse story with his this girl in the story was real or if it was a ruse. And by the end of the review, we were like, one thing is for sure: this guy we don't know loves Zac Efron the way that we love Zac Efron. As two straight white guys from America. And we went on Twitter, and I tweeted at Liam, and I don't know, within an hour, he's like, yes, I'll be on your show. And I do want to give him credit and thank you. We've messaged 3 or 4 actresses from Summerland, including ones who have, fewer followers than, my friends. And we also messaged this girl, also from the UK, Zephron Lover 19, who wrote the fan fiction smutty sequel to Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, and none of them responded.
It was so
Did they
good.
not? I'm disappointed that Zephron Lover 19 didn't respond.
I really thought
Rach didn't care.
So as we're recording this, we have the voting for the Zeffies is now open. So Liam, I don't know if you voted yet. I know you were sort of being a little bit critical of some of our selections.
I'm disappointed basically.
But when
I wanted, before I voted, I wanted to discuss this with you.
Okay, that's fair. But when we get to the 2 categories that Sharpay 2 is eligible for, we're going to once again at Zephron Lover 19 on Twitter, and hopefully she responds. So I'm still holding out hope that she will see this and either be embarrassed or love the fact that, we're sharing her work with a small audience.
She's a huge part of my life right now. I've converted a lot of my social media names to Zephron Lover 19.
It's true.
I really... she doesn't know how much she means to me, and I just want to let her know.
I mean, I tried reading her fan fiction, and I'll be honest, it's not an easy read.
It's not.
Because there's not enough
It's not.
smut in it to make it worth
True.
reading.
Oh no, there's no smut for the first 14 chapters.
Yeah, and it's a real painful, and when you do get finally you get to the smut, it's not worth it.
No. There's no penetration. Yeah, we talked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Penetration. No, there really isn't. She just quadruple spaces the penetration, and you just go like from like them like making out and Sharpay being a virgin to like that was great. His dick was huge, and then that was it. Like
she misses the best bit.
yeah. She just totally skipped it.
Although,
That's terrible.
and Liam might know this depending on if he's as encyclopedic about Zac Efron movies as we are. In the movie Me and Orson Welles, because it's set in the 30s or the 40s or whatever, there is the term that we use for having sex on the show is now quadruple space, because it's about this like literary term where they like lead you up to the sex and then just you like hit enter 4 times, then like you leave it to the imagination. So when we got quadruple spaced by Zephyr on Lover 19, we're like, this kind of is perfect for the show that we've made.
This is the most appropriate way she could have done it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's going to be amazing if you ever get her on,
God.
and you like just go at her with all these theories. You're like, yeah, that was the best, and she's just like, I just wanted to write about Zac Efron having sex.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. We gave her we did a really fair review. We gave her a lot of credit.
Yep.
She used some great literary techniques, some terrible grammar, and it just works.
Yep.
So.
And then also we've just got Jack, who has to put up with me talking about Zac Efron, as much as possible. Like wherever I can naturally slip it into the podcast, basically.
Yeah, see, there's like this whole weird thing where for years I've assumed that Liam is quite weird, and now in this situation where I'm the one that is the odd one out, I don't know anymore. Maybe I'm just odd in that I don't religiously watch all of Zac Efron's
There are
films.
dozens
No,
of
I
us,
can
Jack.
promise it's me.
There are dozens of us.
There has to be like 6 or 7 of us, dude. Just wait.
So later on in the show, we're going to be talking about We Are Your Friends, because it made sense for us to do a Zac Efron movie. But before we get to that, it's time for catching up with Jack and Liam and Joe and Joey. So who's done anything interesting this last week?
Nothing. I did absolutely nothing. I'm just preparing.
Hey, I visited you last weekend. That's something interesting.
Well, that's not that
That
interesting.
doesn't happen often, though.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen often. Joey came here. We've been watching a lot of American football.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of American
Nice.
football because the season just started. And what else? Getting ready for vacation. I'm actually coming to Europe next week and visiting one of my friends from the UK. So that's pretty
Very
cool.
nice. Whereabouts in the UK?
I'm not going to be in the UK. I'm going
Ah.
to Paris, and I'm meeting my buddy from the UK there.
Got
Then
ya.
I'm going to go to Munich for Oktoberfest, and then Barcelona, and then home.
That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I'll be in Reading right before Halloween. Is Halloween a thing over there?
It is, but not massively.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do it the same way
Okay.
you guys do.
Makes sense.
Do people dress up?
Rarely.
So it's more like over here you get the trick-or-treating sort of
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
It's mostly
all the
kids.
younger kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And then, people do Halloween parties, but there's not like, people don't sort of go out
I
and
mean,
do that.
last year we had a pretty fun Halloween, didn't we, Jack?
Yeah, we've got places that do like, we had one of those, what do you call it? Like a sort of like a haunted house, but horrifying.
But horrifying how?
Well,
It was just terrifying. I've
okay.
discovered... So,
Yeah, go on.
Go on, Liam.
It's called Shocktoberfest, and it's essentially a farm that for Halloween they convert into like a load of different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scary
yeah, we have a lot of
attractions.
these.
Like haunted
Yeah.
hayrides and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't have many of those. It seems to be like a recent thing that we've probably started just stealing from you guys.
Okay.
And
yeah.
we went to our first one last year and we discovered a lot of things. One of them being that my eyes don't work very well in dim light. So,
Liam literally couldn't see anything.
like, it's really off-putting, okay? So there was one called the Chop Shop where they're all like car mechanics and inbred and stuff. And it really breaks the immersion when you can't see too good. You accidentally walk into a car and one of the actresses there goes from, "Oh, I'm going to kill you," to, "Mind yourself, watch out."
So British.
Yeah, it just really was like, okay, yeah, not quite as scary as it could have been. But then we got chased by people with chainsaws.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
always
and
fun.
I discovered that I have a fear of people with chainsaws that I didn't know I had.
You shrieked.
Yeah, I was genuinely terrified.
Yeah. And the other thing, so bear in mind, I can't see. I was with my girlfriend and Jack. They both see the chainsaws, shriek and run away, and I'm just left there like, why are we running?
From Jane.
I mean, it's you were definitely the sort of chosen sacrifice. Like in every horror film, there's that one person that gets sacrificed to the creatures, and you were that, Liam. And I'm
Thanks.
sorry, but That's the way it should be.
Appreciated.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes sense to me. First of all, get rid of the blind one. That's
Yeah.
Exactly.
step number one.
Yeah, I'm
Obviously,
just a
you're gonna kill
liability.
that guy off first. Yeah.
So I kind of want to do it again this year, but I need to get my eyes fixed first, and I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to fix your eyes in a month.
No.
Science has come a long way. Maybe it's possible.
Well, it might just be like a prescription in my glasses, because apparently, like, night blindness, or whatever
Yeah.
it's supposed to be properly called, can be like a part of nearsightedness, which I have. So it might just be like a prescription update.
It feels like this is something you should resolve not just for Halloween, but for the other nights of the year too.
Oh yeah, so like I had to drive to my parents last week at night, and that was just terrifying.
God damn.
It's probably not legal for you to drive in the dark, Liam, if you can't see.
I'll be honest, I had to do a roundabout, and I know that I swerved across 3 lanes.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
Oh,
I do
that's
need to get this
terrible.
fixed.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, we've had summer, so I haven't noticed the dark as much because it's been less of it. That's my logic.
Fair.
That sentence, Liam, was not great.
What do you mean?
It was perfect. I really liked it actually. I was like, that is so good. If this was a Zephron movie, I would have wrote that down as like one of the best quotes of the movie.
So Jack, have you been up to much this week?
No, not
Well, that's
not
bullshit
really.
because I know that you have.
Yeah, but I assumed we were going to talk about that in the cinema thing.
All
Or
right,
is there more?
all right. Sit yourself down. Let me take over, and then you'll figure
I'm
out when
sitting
to
down.
jump in. So,
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago, I went and did some stunt driving. That was like a Christmas present that I
Ooh.
finally cashed in.
Oh, that's really cool.
It was a lot of fun.
That is cool.
I'll be honest, I wasn't very good at it.
Did they do it at night?
Thankfully, no. The thing is, like, I'm a big fan of the Fast and Furious films, and there's a part
Are
of me that
you?
is- yeah.
Oh.
I love
That's so
them.
interesting.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very. Wait, do you want? Should we? Sorry to interrupt, but should we announce? We've
I think we could do it. Why not? Because nobody's
Go
gonna
for
listen
it.
to this either.
yeah, none of our fans are listening to this. So in December, because Zack Attack is ending, at least Phase 1, because we've seen everything.
Sorry to
We're going
interrupt
to do
your
the
story
award show.
first. Sorry to interrupt your story. But
No, it's fine.
But no,
Gives
but
the
this
perfect segue.
and this is exciting. This is an exclusive. This is exclusive for Nerd on Nerd.
This is breaking news.
Yeah, breaking
Yeah.
news, exclusive. We haven't said this on our podcast yet. We haven't mentioned
No.
it. We're not going to for a little
We're not
bit.
going to.
so,
This
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
going to be our news on our podcast until October 15th. So you're going to beat us by like a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
So Zack Attack is ending. We were going to replace it just with one podcast following one actor, and then Joe and I were like, well, what about this other actor? And we're like, oh, he's great too. So we're going to do both of those. But then the exciting thing, what you just said, we are also starting in December a podcast called Too Fast, Too Forever. And it's going to be a monthly podcast where once a month we watch a movie in the series and talk about it. And then when we get to the end, we're just going to start right back at the beginning. So,
Perfect.
Oh.
and just
We're
forever.
just gonna watch Fast and the Furious forever, man.
I like it. That's
And
good.
so,
Yes.
the first run through the first, 8 movies, because I don't think another one will be out by the time we get to that point. But when we go through the first 8 movies, we're going to do this all on our own. But then starting with the second round, we want guests. So the fact that you love these movies, you are absolutely coming on and talking about whichever one or whichever ones you want, because we're going to need things to talk
gonna
about
do it
outside
forever.
perspectives.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it forever. So
Happy to. Have you heard? So, just to also sort of slightly sidetrack, have you heard the latest beef between The Rock and is it Tyrese Gibson? Is that the guy?
No.
yeah, he's in them.
But yeah, I mean, he's in them. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
don't
so-
know.
know beef.
Right. Yeah. Oh. They've been beefing on Instagram or some shit lately. Well, I mean, The Rock's been kind of keeping out of it because he's a busy guy.
Right.
But Tyrese
Highest
was
paid actor in the world, or something stupid like that.
Yeah, Tyrese was leaving comments on his Instagram post being like, sorry to hit you up on Instagram, but you're not responding to my texts, and this seems better than emailing you. Honestly, it's like a spurned girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's like, the Fast and Furious family, we're forever, we're together. If you go ahead with the Hobbs solo movie, that's going to ruin everything. And this is basically the gist of like this massive message he left. That as far as I'm aware, The Rock hasn't responded to yet. But it sounds like he's really bitter and jealous that The Rock, who, let's be honest, has an amazing character in this franchise,
Yes.
Yep.
is about to spin off into. I think there were talks that they were going to be like a a Hobbs and Jason Statham. I can't
Yep.
remember his character's
Yeah,
name.
yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's what he's kind of a bit like pissy about.
Why is he pissy about it? Because he could just be a cameo in that movie. You
Right.
dumb fuck. Like you could just go
Exactly.
in.
Yeah.
Or maybe just, keep this like off of the fucking internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is weird to do it over Instagram.
Well,
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't come out of that looking good.
No.
I like when when Fate of the Furious came out and there were news reports that like Vin Diesel and The Rock weren't getting along because Vin Diesel was
Yeah.
also upset about the spin-off, and that was like actual news, like Variety and Deadline and Hollywood Reporter and all these like actual places reported that. Now it trickled down to Tyrese, I guess, and like it's just not reported. Like nobody cares now that it's not Vin
No.
Diesel beefing.
Well,
Did
that's
you
the,
guys see? Good.
No, go ahead.
Oh, did you guys see the Dr. Dre Jimmy Iovine thing? Because Tyrese was the one that blew up Dr. Dre's
Oh,
spot
yeah.
on fucking Instagram with the Beats deal too. So he's just fucking around all over the place.
Well, I kind of feel like what else has he really got like going for him besides this franchise?
Well,
Yeah, but he's just like dropping random gossip and just like ruining people's lives all over the place.
I can tell you that when
Yeah.
I saw Furious 7 at South by Southwest, it was like a world premiere sort of thing, and he came out and basically ushered everyone else off stage and just sweet-talked the entire audience, and every woman in that room fell in love with him even more than they already were. So, like, he's got a lot going on. I just don't know what, constructively he has going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to me being a little stunt driver.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, because I love these movies, and every time I come out of seeing them, I'm like, oh, that was so much fun. It just looks like a fun thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
My girlfriend has decided to give me like a little stunt driving course. It was supposed to be, you do 2.5 hours of a lesson, but it's like
wow.
a group thing, and they say
Okay,
like
cool.
you're supposed to get like 20 to 30 minutes of actual driving time. But they
Yeah.
teach you how to do things like handbrake turns, J turns, drifting, like spinning into like a parking space, all this sort of shit.
Oh, damn.
When I show up, there's no one else in this group, so it's just me. And they're like, well, instead of doing like 2.5 hours, why don't we just do like a 1 hour intensive, like one-to-one training session, essentially.
That's cool.
And you said, no, we've paid for 2.5 hours. You're teaching me for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
right,
but
Liam?
they're like,
That
yeah,
is
but in
what I
that
would
case,
do.
I'm going to have to get you to jump out of the car and wait around for your like 20 minutes in total time. So I was happy to do like an hour of driving, essentially.
That's cool.
It was left-hand drive, which for you guys wouldn't be an issue, but for us over here, that was confusing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It was like a normal American style car.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And yeah,
Which
at
is
one
reverse
point,
for you. Go ahead. Yeah, I get it.
at one point, he says to me, "You're not very good at listening to instructions, are you?"
That's good.
To which I countered, "I'm listening to them. I'm just not doing them."
What can I ask, Liam? What led to him to say that? Like, what had you done wrong?
He wanted me to stop at a certain point, and I just carried on driving.
Got you right.
But yeah, it was super fun. Like, I was terrible at it. Apparently, like, the things that he was teaching me is the sort of like the absolute basics you need to know before you progress.
Yeah.
And the drifting was the hardest because I just kept oversteering and spinning the car out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that seems easy to do.
yeah, but it was just so much fun.
What kind of car were you in?
Oh, it was like a fucking... It wasn't a fancy one. It was almost like a rally car that was purpose-built for just going around this farm track, essentially.
Okay.
But I took all the skin off one of my knuckles because I kept rubbing it against the seat as I was pulling up the handbrake.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that was fun. But otherwise, it was awesome. It was so good.
super
I just
cool.
wish I'd been better at it. Because
In America, we do that too, but just in parking lots full of gravel. It's just totally free. You don't even have to pay for it.
that sounds like fun.
You can just do it.
Yeah, you just go there until the cops show up, and then you say, "I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know I couldn't do that," and you just move along.
So I did that, and then later that week, I went to London with Kat, and we met up with Jack, and we did some stuff that we'll talk about later. But the next day, we went to the Natural
you.
History Museum.
How was it?
Yeah.
There was
good.
a lot there.
I like natural history museums. I like going to them. They're always fun. But then there's like always like a bunch of parts that I hate of natural history museums. Like dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah.
And like
Yep.
those like what are the fucking things called that are in the glass? Who knows what these are called?
Fossils?
Like No. Like when you like look and it's like here's a fucking Neanderthal and like there's his mammoth in the background.
Oh,
you know what this
like
thing is?
the like not panorama, but yeah, it's like the display or whatever.
Like a bigger diorama or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, like a big diorama. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would. I think there's a name for it. It might be diorama. I don't know. But yeah, I like those. But then like some of the other shit, I'm like, I don't care. So yeah.
We walked
Yeah,
through this
there's
huge,
definitely-
like, massive room that just had various rocks in it.
Oh, those are fun though. Every time I go into that one, I always think of Breaking Bad. And I'm like, they're not rocks, Murray. They're minerals.
It was fun. It was such a big room. There was just so many. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, that's weird, because I'd have said that was the room you enjoyed the most, Liam, because you just spent most of it walking around being like, I've picked my favourite rock. What one's your favourite rock?
That's how you do
Well-
it. That's the perfect way to do it. I agree.
Yeah, there you go. You got to make favourites, Jack. But yeah, Jack kind of assumed. I wanted to essentially see if we could hire someone to be like a personal guided tour, because I have a lot of questions about this sort of thing.
Okay.
But Jack was didn't want to do that, and he decided he was going to lead a tour essentially.
No. That's not what happened.
exactly
Me
what
and
happened.
your girlfriend both were like, we don't want to do a tour. We just want to look round and, see it all ourselves. And then when you then inevitably asked me questions, I was telling you the answers.
You were guessing for some of them.
Yeah.
For
For
most
some
of
of them,
them.
I was.
I'm sure.
To be fair, I like fucking dinosaurs.
Well, hang on. Sorry. Rephrase that, because you just said you like fucking dinosaurs.
I will not rephrase it, Liam. You imagine you get a T-Rex, you pin it down, you just insert yourself into it.
I mean, you don't start with a T-Rex. That's where you're going wrong.
That's an
You've
advanced
got to
level
build up
course.
to it.
Yeah.
Like, you need
All
to
right,
practice
well.
on some raptors first or something. Like you need
Yeah.
I feel like even that's too advanced. You gotta find.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe like a lazy Triceratops.
yeah, sleepy one. Like if
Yeah.
you sneak up on it.
Because you think that...
Yeah, so like
it's-
picture the scene in Jurassic Park where they find that really sick Triceratops,
That's the
and
one.
then instead of them
That's
helping
rape.
it,
That is
what?
dino rape.
It's technically. I think if you're fucking dinosaurs, I think it's all rape.
Yeah.
I don't
I think
think.
this whole
Can a
premise is
dinosaur consent?
you started out by saying pinning down a T-Rex. Like that's like. I mean, it's all
aggressive.
dino rape. Yeah.
I think if you could pin down a T-Rex, though, it's not rape because that's a big ass dinosaur. So like, if you could pin it down, that's fair game. That's pretty much consent.
You've
in my
like
eyes.
earned it at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jack doesn't want to rephrase that, so as you were, Jack.
Yeah, I love dinosaurs and potentially fucking them, but. So I don't remember what we were talking about, Liam. I will admit I got distracted
answering the questions. You
by
were
the
answering
idea
the
of
questions.
dinosaur sex.
Yeah, you were talking about how you wanted to be like a guide at the Natural History Museum at one point in your
Yeah,
life.
when I was younger, I really when we did work experience. I applied to be a guide at the Natural History Museum because it's like, and for years I wanted to be a paleontologist because I was obsessed with
That's cool.
natural history.
That's really cool.
Right,
I dig
it's
it.
really cool until you've then got to walk around with him, like, piping up about it every 2 minutes.
That didn't happen. You're over exaggerating, Liam.
Okay, the bits I didn't like was, like, I didn't realise that I just don't really like snakes. And I had a
Yeah.
load of snakes.
Yeah, that was weird. You're not a fan of snakes.
No, snakes and spiders, I'm not a fan of them. We avoided the spider bit.
Were they
Yeah,
live
we didn't do
snakes
the
and
insect.
spiders?
No,
just
no.
just
just-
stuffed one.
Yeah.
I always assumed that
did-
everybody in England loves snakes because of Harry Potter, but that's
Oh, that's the other thing we had a huge fucking disagreement on, because you think I'm a Slytherin and I'm definitely not.
Oh god. So I took those quizzes on Pottermore.com so many times, and I
Yep.
finally accepted my fate that I'm a Hufflepuff, even though I don't want to be a Hufflepuff. I'm a Hufflepuff, and there's nothing I can do about it.
See, this is the
never-
thing.
Oh,
I am
I'm
a
a
Hufflepuff.
and I'm proud of it.
I think
Yeah.
we're all Hufflepuffs. I think the four of us are all Hufflepuffs.
fuck that. No way.
The thing with Liam and Slytherin is we walked into currently like one of the stores in England are selling like a bunch of Harry Potter themed clothes. And Liam's girlfriend wanted some socks or something. There was
Yeah.
something that Kat wanted.
Something.
And we went in and they had these shirts that had like the house, like the traits that meant each house.
Yes.
And we were looking at them and I looked at Gryffindor and I was like, well, Liam, you haven't got any of them. Bravery's pretty high up there and courage, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You look at Ravenclaw and you go intelligence, that's neither of us.
Yeah.
And then we got to Hufflepuff and I went friendship, loyalty, and there were two others. And I was like,
kindness.
Liam, you've got like two out of them. You're not kind.
I can be.
Loyalty I'll give you.
Yeah.
Friendship,
Well,
you're my friend.
yeah.
But And then we looked at Slytherin, and, you know, everyone just assumes, oh, Slytherin's evil. But when you actually read what they are, it's like cunning, ambition. And I was like, a lot of those match you, Liam. But he's now throwing a big hissy fit because he turns out he's part of the bad house.
I'm not a Slytherin. That's the fact of it.
You just gotta make Slytherin great again.
I feel like that's an impossible task. Like the PR for Slytherin has a very difficult job.
Yeah, their Twitter page is fucked.
Yeah. So yeah, we did London, and basically all we did in London. Well, we kind of rented an apartment for the night, which was nice.
Cool.
And then yeah, we just went to the History Museum.
How long does it take you guys
Nice,
to get
yep.
into London from wherever you are?
Yeah, for me it's like an hour and a half on the train.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's
For me, it's only like 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
But we
I
were
think-
doing something the night before, and we didn't know like if it would finish too late for us to then get the train back.
Right.
yeah, makes sense. I think I'm about an hour and a half from New York City.
Yeah, and
on
I'm
a
about
train.
45 minutes too, so it's about the same thing. Yep.
Dead
Yeah.
on. Yep.
But yeah, that was my week. Has anyone else been up to anything?
No.
No. Cool.
Well,
And that's catching up.
So does
Moving.
that segment always end with a whimper like that? Just like we ran out of things to talk about?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
okay, good. Yeah,
that's how
perfect.
most of our sections end.
Yeah, this show just sort of, we talk for a while, then eventually we all peter out, and then
Yeah.
someone just goes, I think the show's finished.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Good,
The thing is, if Jack was good at editing, he'd edit out that bit where we're not sure what's going on, so it would sound real smooth
Oh,
and
I
slick.
do sometimes.
Yeah,
I
sometimes.
make it seem like we're better.
Sometimes is the key word there, though, isn't it?
It's a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.